is Elizabeth. I'm back again with another book review. It's been crazy the past few days. Christmas is on its way and next week is Hanukkah, so our house figured in order, instead of actually doing what I'm supposed to do, I decided I was going to procrastinate and talk to you about books because that seemed like a more fun thing to do. So today I am here with The Map of Salt and Stars by Zen Jokador. I hope I did not butcher that name. And this is a contemporary / historical fiction. It follows, on the contemporary end, three sisters who are Syrian refugees, and on the historical fiction end, it follows a character named Al-Idrizi who is scavenging the earth so that he can build the perfect map to take back to King Roger in the 1100s. The main character who you're following, her name is Noor. She's 12 years old. She was originally born in America, and through circumstances, her family finds themselves back in Syria, which is where they're from, and figuring out how to survive, that coming of age, while also dealing with the Syrian refugee crisis. So it's heart-wrenching in some places because you're following a 12-year-old girl who's literally just trying to figure out about the world around her while also dealing with things that are causing immense PTSD from what she has to handle. And then on the other end, you're following Rayuwa, who is accompanying Al-Idrizi as he travels around the world and makes maps. So the way that these two connect is Al-Idrizi and Rayuwa are stories that and she is trying to navigate the current situation that she's in by remembering the stories that her dad has taught her, which is that story. That's the main story that you're following. I did like that aspect of the book. I liked the juxtaposition between the two sides. I didn't necessarily enjoy the historical fiction parts just because, number one, it felt like a retelling of 1001 Nights, which is not my favorite piece of history, just because if you've watched my last few videos and if you've read any of my reviews for anything, this book definitely was plot-based, and there wasn't as much introspection. It was just, she did this, and then this happened, and then, here we are. Whereas the contemporary parts, a lot of action was happening, but you're also dealing with characters coming to grips with what has actually happened to them and what they're dealing with and what they're battling with. And I thought that the contemporary side was really, really well done. Another thing that I really liked about this book was the writing. I thought that the writing was beautiful in some places. I also liked the fact that, so as you're going through different parts of the book, they're showcased by poems to the different countries that they're going to, and they also are the shape of the country that you're in. I thought that the page breaks for that were actually really, really good. Okay, like here's another one. Like, this is Libya. If you looked at a map, you'll start to pinpoint the countries. I thought that, and for me personally, again, they're poems that are odes to that country, and they're actually, like, if you know anything about the history of the Middle East, they're really, really heartfelt, and there are moments where just personally they were kind of hard for me to read just because my own culture is steeped there. So there were moments where they were really difficult to read, but also moments where they were really, really beautiful. I thought that the writing for those was gorgeous. I also really liked our main character. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't necessarily like our main character because they thought she was boring. They thought that she didn't add anything. There's a character who has synesthesia, which if you don't know, that's when the neural senses of your body, you know, the five senses. For our main character, basically she can see sound. And it creates this, it's woven into the story in, I think, a really good way. And I also thought it was really cool because my sister has synesthesia, so she can taste sound. And the way that that was handled, I thought was really, really well done. But I know that a lot of people didn't necessarily like that, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I know that I didn't like the historical fiction part of it, and a lot of people really, really enjoyed it. So, I mean, we can agree to disagree. But that, I think, is the reason why I had such a hard time with this book was, and it's one of those things where, again, like, if you know the story, even on the parts where it's quiet and you're going through it, I mean, it does add it in the sense that she's using it as a mind map for how she wants to overcome certain things. Okay, we're ignoring the fact that the lights decided that they wanted to go out and that the generator kicked on because woo, Colorado. So yeah, that was really kind of difficult, but that's the only gripe I really have with this book. The rest of it I thought was really, really well. I overall gave this book 4 stars. I think that if you are in a rough place mind-wise, maybe hold on picking this one up, just because there are trigger warnings for sexual assault and there are trigger warnings for domestic violence. This is a book that's dealing with someone who is in a war-torn country, so a lot of really graphic things happen, and there are moments also where, but I would also say it's really uplifting too. When you get to the end and everything is settled, I didn't necessarily like the conclusion for the historical part, but again, I didn't really get that invested to the characters, so you might actually fall in love with this book and like all of it. But for me, that's the reason why it's 4 stars. So that, I think, is going to sum it up for this book. This was kind of short and quick. I'm going to probably try to figure out why my lights decided that they wanted to go out just now. So my name is Bookish by Nature. That's my channel name. My actual name is Elizabeth, but I'm Bookish by Nature, and if you are too, please like and subscribe. Thanks.